What's going on, my peoples, my peeps? What's up? 2021. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I hope all you had a great New Year. I hope you got to spend it with the people that you wanted to. Yeah, man, 2021. Let's go. Let's bring it. Age of Aquarius. Age of Enlightenment. 2021. You know, I'm scared. I'm scared because 2019, this time I was on a cruise ship. And, you know, the past couple years we've been taking cruises for New Year's, to bring in the New Year's on a cruise. And I recommend if you have the ability to take a New Year's cruise, you do so. It's quite a party. It's fun. You know, so I just remember counting down, kicking 2019 in the ass, saying, new decade, 2020, you know, fresh start. The next 10 years are going to be something special. What did I call that? 3 months later, lockdown, COVID. What a mess that brought, you know, but how would life be if COVID didn't come? Where would we be at? Would we even have recognized Ahmaud Arbery? Would we even recognize George Floyd? You know, I think that a lot of the awareness that came from those two, rest in peace, is because of COVID, because everybody was home, everybody had their faces in front of the TV, paying attention to what's going on, you know. But if COVID wasn't here and America wasn't paying attention as it was at that particular time, would have those two significant cases even been recognized, paid attention to? I question that because, you know, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, you know, these individuals, they're not the first case like this. This has been going on for many, many, many years. Before TV, before phones, before all that crap. We weren't paying attention then. We weren't believing the hype then, you know. And then COVID came. And as they say, you know, God works in mysterious ways, man. You know, who knows? Maybe this was his way of sitting us down and like, look, pay attention to what you're doing to my beautiful planet. Look how you're killing my beautiful people, you know. Look how you treat each other. COVID brought a lot of awareness, man. Look how we act in the face of a national crisis. Remember the toilet paper. Remember all the paper products. You know, the panic, the riots, you know, just the ugliness that ensued in the first 3 or 4 months. The anger, you know. 2020 was a very challenging year, man, both personally and environmentally for me. I had a lot of personal breakthroughs. I had a lot of personal challenges. With my relationship, just a lot of awareness. 2020 called for a lot of patience, something that I lack, let's just say. So it really tested my boundaries as far as communication, as far as teamwork between my spouse and I, and making sure that we didn't bring COVID into our house or as little as possible. And it still goes on now, you know, but it was 2020 was a learning experience. And whether you know it or not, we're part of history. You and I. They're going to be talking about this time for the next 100 years, 200 years. They'll be talking about what happened in 2020. I'm glad and proud to be part of this era. We have Brexit now. You know, Britain is no longer part of Europe, you know, and that's a monumental shift. We have no idea what that means, but it's remaking the land, and we're part of that. And as I sat here last night, and I'm like, what is 2021 gonna look like for me? You know, what do I expect out of 21? I can only control myself, and I can only worry about the things that I can control. You know, I worry about where the nation is going. I worry about what I see and what I hear around me at all times. But I can't let those affect me, and I can't let them control me. They're just thoughts in the back of my mind, little negative demons that are trying to gnaw at my success and my progression. And that's how I view it, you know. No matter what's going on in life, I can control me, and I can still make my own choices, my own decisions as how I want my life to turn out. No matter how many obstacles or roadblocks get in my way, I always have the choice to either go around them or lay down. 2021 for me is going to be about motivation. It's going to be about execution. It's time to move. I'm sick and tired of hearing about innocent people still in prison. I'm sick and tired of hearing about, you know, corruption in the courtrooms. I'm tired of hearing other people persecute others because of their own faults or their own insecurities that they don't want to deal with. Tired of hearing all the fuckery, you know. And I've been part of that fuckery. So again, I can only control myself. So 21 for me is going to be about being my best version, my best self, and what I believe. I believe that I am a perfect representation of God. I believe that I'm here to do God's work in that representation, and that's what I'm here for. And within doing God's work, right, I'm bettering myself and improving my soul and getting closer to God, because for me that's what it's about. If I believe in reincarnation, and I believe in, you know, spiritual evolution and progression, then that's what it is for me. And I have to start acting these things out. I have to start portraying my beliefs with the belief system that I have. You know, I have to start growing and letting outside influences affect my thought process and my personal drive of life to achieve and accomplish what it is that my soul is seeking. I have to limit the distractions that I have around me that are constantly trying to pull me off my course, pull me onto a course of their agenda. I have to be strong and confident in who I am, what I can do, and where I'm going. And I have to set realistic goals, you know, goals that can be attainable, so that I don't get discouraged when I don't attain these goals. This is what I want for myself in 2021. By the end of 21, I want to sit right here where I'm sitting at now, 1 year from now, and be able to take a look back and say that I accomplished, you know, ABC. This is what I set out to do. This is what I accomplished. And this is the fruits of my labor. I've never been one to make plans to strive for goals. I've never been that way. I've always been the type to just act on first thought, spontaneity, handling things as they come. I'll worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes, and I'll deal with that then. This has always been my demeanor. And it's almost like the furious paddler in a boat that's paddling, but he's not going anywhere because he don't have no smooth strokes. His strokes are just erratic and frantic. And that's been the story of my life. And that has to change because, like the frantic paddler, he's moving and he's moving and he's moving, and he's exerting all this energy and passion. But the boat's not not sailing smooth, right? It's sloppy, it's all over the place. Sure, the boat's moving, and it may be moving in the direction that you want it to, but it's not moving as efficiently as it could be if I just smooth out my strokes. Take away some of the franticness, and just learn to paddle in one long, smooth stroke. And that's what I have to do. That's my goal for 2021. I just see that this is how successful people are. And I don't mean success as in monetary value. I just mean success as far as accomplishing the goals that you want for your life. Takes hard work, dedication, sacrifice, things that I've never really been willing to put in. I've always looked for the easy way around things, the quick solution, just to band-aid the situation. So 2021 for me is about, it's just about getting it done, man. Getting it done. I'm looking to reach as many people as I can. I'm looking to touch as many people as I can. And hopefully just give enough advice from my experience to help somebody make their lives just a little bit easier, a little bit better, understand things a little bit differently. That's what my goal is, So I'm gonna leave you with that. Again, I love you guys. Happy New Year. Be safe. Until the next time. Yo.
Hey, can you hear me on speaker?
I can hear you, man.
I don't know if I'm on the speaker or not, but if you can hear me like this, that's cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Okay, so listen, this is what we're gonna do. This show here is gonna be our New Year's show, okay? So
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do right here is I'm starting a 60-second countdown, and then we're going to just count this bitch down and kick it in his ass, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. I can feel it building up again.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do last night, man? How you felt last night?
Bro, I went to sleep. I ain't even
You didn't sleep, huh?
Huh?
You haven't slept?
Yeah, I went to sleep. I didn't see the new year come in. I sure didn't.
20
Yeah, but I'm happy. Hey, this my year though.
No.
10,
9, 8, 7,
6,
5,
4, 3,
2, 1. Get the fuck out of here, you motherfucker.
Happy New Year, I mean? Happy New Year.
Get the fuck out of here. Kick 2020 in his ass. Get out of here.
Yeah, for real, because it was a whole bunch of stuff going on. And even though every year a whole bunch of stuff going on, this was one of the worst. This is one of the worst that I seen
So,
as a free man. I had
okay.
that in.
So 2020 for you, its worst moment was what?
The worst moment in 2020 for me, it was at one point where, I was like down financially, couldn't get no gig. My pops died. It was just stuff one out of another, So I can't say they all was the worst because they all, to me, went into a ball, which is the ball of the new year, the 365. You dig?
Yeah. Now, how did you lose your father?
COVID.
COVID got your father.
At the beginning of when COVID came out and people didn't believe it, they were still listening to media like what's that girl name? Dang, what's her name? And she'll say coronavirus, coronavirus. They need to pay me because I think they just making jokes of that. What's that girl name, man?
She was on a news channel.
Oh, she a rapper.
Oh, I don't know.
She live.
If it's a fit, who you talking about?
Female.
The WAP chick.
Spanish. Her, bro.
Yeah.
Her.
What's her name, man?
Can't think of it, man.
Candy Delicious or something like that,
no,
right?
That's not it. Come on, man. That's not it. I'm sure that's not it. But I was telling people
I can't remember her name, but the one from the WAP video, yeah.
That's her name. I mean, that's not her name, but that's the one.
But yeah.
I think of it in a little while. But yeah, man, she was saying all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you got these rappers and people, actors and stuff like that. They getting paid to say they had coronavirus and stuff like that. So then her little thing with TikTok, like that went viral when she was saying coronavirus, coronavirus. And I was mad at her before my pops had even had corona. I was like, man, how do you know? What's going on?
Yeah.
Are you the one getting paid?
Yeah.
She was saying other people getting paid just to say they had it. I was thinking, later I'm like, dang, did she get paid to say that it was a hoax? I'm just saying, bro.
Who knows, man? It's hard to tell, boy. I'm telling you, these pockets run deep, man.
And that's why Lil Wayne had his behind on that thing, taking a picture with Trump. Then 50 Cent turned around and said they offered him whatever amount of monies to do the same thing. So he know that they gave the Lil Wayne some money. You feel me?
Yeah, but did 50 Cent get paid to say that?
This is what happened with 50 Cent. This is my opinion.
Okay.
So 50 Cent, he got online and said, yo, I'm voting for Trump because I'm gonna get a tax break. And he is right because they get a wealthy tax breaks. Trump does, right? Now he got so much of flack from the public about that, including his ex-girlfriend and stuff like that, that they had to, she had to get on talk shows and defend him because she said if you feel that much about your taxes, I'll pay your taxes. So you don't vote for Trump. I'll pay his taxes. This is what the girl said. I think she's an actress or something, a model. Something.
I remember.
Huh?
Yep, I remember that. I do remember that.
So with that being said, it's like she had to defend him, but then he turned around and then he started acting anti-Trump. However, if you ask me, you can't be anti-Trump if you said that even from the beginning. You see what I mean? You really wanted that to happen for your personal pockets. You really did. You ain't gonna say, "Oh, I was just joking," because this is something you just don't do. you know that you got mad influence and stuff like that. You don't do that.
No question.
Yeah, you just don't do that. Then you renege later on, and now you saying something about when Lil Wayne took the picture with Trump and was endorsing Trump. You know what I mean? So now you want your fan base back. I don't know if I answered your question though.
Well, yeah. Well, the question was, what was the bad about 2020? But no, I
Now,
hear you, and you're spot on. So let me ask you this: what do you think about Ice Cube?
I think Ice Cube didn't do anything wrong because Ice Cube was trying to bring the two parties together for one a solution. You know what I mean? That's what I think. I mean,
And what
but
about what? What? Okay, go ahead. No, you got more
no,
on
I
Cube.
think no, I think the public like took it the wrong way and ran with it. He was just trying to. He had to link up with both parties in order to because to me he was the best as far as the celebrities when it came to the media and whatever like that because he said the Democrats said something to him, the Republicans, but the only way things can happen if they both come together. But with the administration that we have right now, it's like separate parties. We know they're separate parties, but we're talking about they don't even reach across the lines like they used to, you know, due to the president that's right now sitting in the chair. And I think Ice Cube, the reason why he, uh, went and, tried to campaign or make something happen with the Republicans because he had to in order for it could work for everybody. I don't think he was endorsing Trump. I think they took that the wrong way. That's my personal opinion.
But you think Trump is the creator of the divisiveness in politics now? It wasn't. You're saying that it wasn't divisive when Obama was in there?
This is what I think. With it's always going to be divisive. Always. It just don't matter. Even with the new administration that's coming in. Okay. Now, this president, he don't have any cover on anything, and he will do things on his own, which he's let me see. The word is not arrogant. He's just so forceful with everything, and he does it himself. Or if you don't do what he told you to do, you're gonna get fired or kicked off, and he gonna get somebody to do it. If I got to do it myself, I'm gonna do it. But usually it was more undercover, like you're talking about, with things that a president or a politician, if you would do. He just so, I guess, flamboyant or open with things that he do, and he does them in the worst way, if you ask me. And you just did. I'm listening.
Yeah.
Well, what's your
No,
opinion on what I said
I'm sitting here listening to you. Do you remember Twin?
from Jacksonville?
I ah his name is Derek Kimball,
It,
and
it,
we called him Twin. We was at Mariana together, and he used to always be in the law library, and he used to have long dreads. By that time, when we were there, his dreads were probably like in the middle of his back or maybe down to his lower back.
I can't say that I do, man.
If I show you a picture, I know you remember him, but it's been so long, I know. But now he just sent me an email, and I'm sitting here reading the email.
Okay.
So this is what he says. Let me read you the email.
All right.
So he says, "Hey, now this is a guy. Twin has been down maybe 27 years now.
He's still in?
He's still in.
Dang.
So
But
this is what he says. He says, "Hey Tom, what's good, partner? I don't want you to think that I forgot about you. I just been in here trying to stay focused and prepare myself for the day of my release. And yes, this year is over. Hopefully this is my year. But that is good news to hear that you have your own podcast show. That's what's up. And the topic about incarceration clearly shows me that you never forgot about this experience of your life and how it has affected not only you, but others as well.
I'm getting
I look
chills.
forward I look forward to your success and whatever the universe has in store for you. And I look forward to being interviewed on your show and introducing my ideas to you in hopes that we can take off. The ideals that I have falls right in line with what you are doing, and that is exposing the system for what it is. The nonprofit organization is what's up as well. You have to explain more to me what the title Coming Home Coalition is all about. Now, as to your daughter's situation, I told you that you should expect when dealing with your daughter. But don't worry, she will come around. That's for sure. Stay up, homie, and remember there's a lot more success where that came from.
That's what's up. Because you know,
This is my partner, man.
You know we run deep in there, man. Our minds don't get cluttered on bills and different little stuff. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you some crazy stuff that I was thinking years ago when I was incarcerated. I was like, once I get successful and like get enough money, I want a basement with a cell in it for myself to keep me physically in the reality. Mentally, it never leaves. It just never leaves. I find myself sometimes talking to females and whatever, and I say, "Oh yeah," and I'm always talking prison, man. So I can't. It's hard for me to like get it. I can't get it off my mind. But I wanted to physically build just a little cell for me, so my physical body will attach to my mental and wake up, and so I could think. Because we need. Okay, some people might take a trip to, I guess, the Bahamas, so they could just clear their mind or whatever. But in reality, you're not really clearing your mind. You just putting we'll say a cover on it, just so that you can feel good for the moment. But your mind is clear when you are incarcerated, because once you get in tune with the reality, okay, I'm locked up, I can't get out. This is a Tuesday. My family can't nobody come see me anyway. You already know the routine, what's gonna happen. You ain't paying no rent. You go to child whatever times during that day. You're gonna have the counts and whatever like that. So it's already just really written out for you. So you don't have too much of thinking unless you're getting involved in different little things that that you can get involved in when you incarcerate. However, you don't got to worry about a cable bill, a TV bill, a house note, a car note, shoes and clothes, even paying for your food, even though some of that kind of stuff, like paying for your food, you do have to worry about. You got to worry about paying for medical these days because of the laws that's in the prisons now. But how much does it cost? Was it $5 when you left?
It's like $2 a day or $5 a day or some crap.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about just to sign up for an appointment.
Oh yeah. It's something like that. It's something like $2 that you had to. So just by you signing up for an appointment to be seen by the nurse, it was like $2.
Yeah, just to even go there, and then most a lot of different medications, they're gonna send you to the commissary that you're gonna have to pay for your own medication.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a big business. Big business.
But no, I dig what you're saying though, and this is what I was saying at one point, because there's a gentleman that's locked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out to him. The prison sent the letter back. I have to correct that as well. But his name is Ronald Sanford. Now Ronald Sanford, right, has been incarcerated since he was 13 years old.
Come on, bro.
Right? For double homicide.
And how long he been in there?
I think he's been in there about 27 years now.
For real?
Right. But what you're saying, what intrigues me, and the link to how I found this man is on my site. I'll send it to you personally so you can see.
Man,
but there was an interview that was done on juveniles and life sentences, and he was one of the ones that was introduced. And what intrigued me was exactly what you had just said, right? You have a grown man that has spent his whole life pretty much, right, incarcerated in prison. He knows no distractions. He don't know bills. He don't know checkbooks. He don't know TV shows. He don't know life as we know it out here. So heavily distracted, right? And it shows, because the man is highly educated, very articulate. The books that he has in his cell are, higher educational books, higher learning books, and this is the point that I'm trying to broadcast to my listeners. Like, we have to limit our distractions in life to allow us time to self-reflect, to analyze, to process each day. We can't just be working all day and then go home and then deal with all the house stuff and then turn on the TV and digest a little bit of time we have left before we sleep, indulged in some wild fantasy,
And you back in it the next day. The same.
And then you're back in it the next day. And then when the weekend comes, you have sports, you have, you have your decompression stage where you're out and you're boating, you're fishing, you're doing whatever it is to decompress from the week. And maybe an hour or two in there when you're driving, there's no music going or whatever, you may self-reflect, but it's nowhere equivalent to the time that we need to process all the bullshit that we go through each day.
Now, okay, so now I got a break. So usually, and I don't do this, but usually most people, they got to have something on, like a radio, or usually somebody got to have a TV on while they're trying to sleep. You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. Usually. I mean, most people that I talk to, they have to have their radio on while I'm working and stuff like that. I'll listen to the Steve Harvey Morning Show or whatever like that. And once it starts.
Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Come on, dog. Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Man,
for real.
Man, hush up.
Why are you not listening to Free Me podcast in the morning, man?
No, I'm saying when I can. But listen, no, let me get my point before you get on.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I just felt a little hurt there.
Before you get on to me, you already did about several weeks ago about that. But now listen to this. This is very important with what we're talking about, okay? So, biblically speaking, when it came to the Bible and certain people in the Bible, you know what they did to get their thoughts together and they come back a different person? They went up high mountains by themselves. I can't quote their names, but I guarantee you it's in the Bible.
Well, I could tell you one right offhand, Jesus.
And I think Moses. I just didn't want to be wrong on the names. You understand?
Moses did as well. That's when he came down with the 10 Commandments. Absolutely correct.
You see what I mean? You so what a person do, he go out to try to find himself and things will speak to him or her. It speaks to your soul, your mind. Your mind is your soul. And people don't know that because everybody say your soul. And that's correct. Your soul is what makes your body move, if you would. But
Mm.
your mind is a part of your soul. This is me talking. What is it, biological? With that being said, it's hard for a person to really tap into a mind when you having surgery on a brain. You know, is one person did that, and he did it himself, and he was able to talk through his thoughts, and it started coming on a computer screen. You saw that before?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I saw the particular one that you're talking about, but I do know what you're speaking of. Yeah.
But
They hook them up. They hook up all the little sticky joints to to your head, or with the electro whatevers, and the computer actually reads the electro waves that your brain's producing, that I guess is considered as thoughts.
and
Yes.
that's what this dude did. He was a millionaire, and he was that's how he was able to talk to you. He was able to talk to you, and he had the voice hooked up to it. He was in a wheelchair and everything, bro. But
Uh-huh.
but see, the mind, and people, they don't give the mind credit for the soul, because your soul is what make you, and your mind is the same thing that make you. Meaning, if someone was having thoughts of whatever the thoughts that they having, right? Whatever the thoughts they was having, that is them, which is the soul. Your soul makes you who you are, and your mind does as well. That's why I'm trying to put the two together to try to show you that those two are the same.
So would you say that your mind is a filter to the soul?
That's a better way to put it, bro.
So your mind is a
That's a
filter
better way to put
that
it,
generates
man.
that moves your soul
I couldn't
according
have
to
said
what
that
you
no
allow
better.
to come through your filter.
I couldn't have said that no better, Brian. That's real. I couldn't have said that no better. That's something that you need to really discuss, because that's the truth. I couldn't have said that no better.
Well, and this is a lot of what the topics are of the show, is that it's and I say this a lot to people, like, you have to check your filter. I agree with you 100%. And this is what I mean when I say that is you have to check your filter. Like, is your filter clean? You see what I'm saying? Are you sure that you're allowing good information to come through your filter that's generating and controlling your soul, as you put it? You know
You
what I
make it
mean?
sense.
We have to do this every day.
You got to.
Dude, you're spot on, because of the distractions. See, now getting into the conspiratorial aspect of it, right? Because of these distractions, right? These people know what they're doing, dog. This is chess. This ain't checkers,
Definitely.
right?
Keep going.
These government people know exactly what they're doing. They have the most brilliant minds ever known to man generating, theories on how to control
The
populations,
media and all
right?
that kind of stuff.
So,
Now,
so,
now go ahead, because you own something, but go ahead.
So this is what I'm saying is, they understand that when the brain is distracted, it doesn't have time to think. You see, they know that. So what do? They try to create as many distractions as they possibly can, right? And over time, we learn that communism really doesn't work. Socialism, it really doesn't work. It takes a general type of population in an ecosystem that can make a socialistic environment work, right? But we weren't founded on
Can I stop
socialism,
you a little
right?
bit?
Yeah, go ahead,
Please.
partner.
I don't want to run it, because I don't want to lose my thought, even though you own a train of thought now.
No, please, yeah, continue with yours.
So I had to stop you with the communism, even though I had the thought, communism, it still works. Okay. And what happens is everything what you said.
A lot of people agree with you now. A lot of people agree with you. So go ahead, please.
Everything that you said was correct up until the point with the communism. This is what, and this is the perfect example. Now, the president that we have, he will and want to be a communist, but it's just still certain laws that he got to go through, meaning with the Senate and Congress and stuff like that. But he's doing it in a camouflaged way to try to do the same things that communists do and dictators. That's what he's trying to do, and that's how he been doing. Because if you look at the people that his followers, if you would, the things that he do, think about like Hitler. Hitler does what he want to do. No, my bad. I'm talking about Hitler. Castro. When he was Castro, my bad. You can even put Hitler somewhere in there, but I can't tell you too. But anyway, they do what they want to do. If you ain't down with them, you get the axe. If ain't nobody agreeing with them, you get the axe. It's gonna be my way or no way at all. Okay, I'm gonna run this country and I'm gonna take control of it, over it. And that's what he's been trying to do the entire time. He's still trying to do that right now. Even though millions of people done voted and the vote is what it is. He does.
Talking about Trump now. Okay.
That's what he do. Is that a communist? Is that a dictator? That's just what's going on. That's what he been trying to do the entire time.
Now, see how I view
Look
that.
Look at the followers.
How I view that.
And This is the point that one of the points. Excuse me, bro. When you say about the mind, that's what he do to people. He done said a million lies, and whenever a lie goes, when it gets exposed or whatever like that, guess what? They'll say something about the lie, like, oh, well, he just said this or whatever like that. But that's the same thing they'll do with any type of dictator or whatever like that. You make an excuse, and next thing you know, you in a trance, and that's how come you get sucked in to a communist and a dictator. That's how you get sucked in, because of the mind thing that you just said earlier, that I said, hey, give me a second and let me just comment. But go ahead, man.
Well, okay. So what I see going on, right, and what worries me, and how I see Trump is a businessman. He's an egoist. He's a machoist. I'm not a Trump fan. I don't like the man personally. I really don't know him on a personal level, but the appearance that he gives me is one that I just don't agree with for my lifestyle, right? However, I do understand a New York Northeastern real estate type guy. You know, I understand that he's brash. I understand, that he's blunt, and I understand that he could care less what anybody really thinks about him. What I do see and what I'm scared of is the manipulation that's going on, not from the president, but from media, and the power that media has over the American mind. That's what scares me. And the propaganda that I see media spewing out every time one of these actors on these shows every time their lips move, there's agenda behind it, right? And they're very, as you said about some of the rappers or whatever, these are very influential
and they
people,
can't get out unless they have media. But go ahead.
Because at one point, right, America was trained to trust the news during World War II. All of these, America relied every day heavily on news, right? And we as a society have kind of subscribed that the news is the truth. This is what we always hear, like the news is the truth. The news is reporting. Reporting is truth. Reporters report honestly. All of this is what we consistently hear generation after generation.
The news on right now as we're talking, but it's on mute.
Right. So we as a society have come to put our trust in news medias as a source of survival.
What else did we do? But go ahead.
And what has happened is we have evolved into 20 or 30 different news media outlets. It's like a new news media outlet pops up every day boasting about being more real than the last one, right? But when you do the in-depth research on it, all of these news medias are pretty much controlled by just one entity, right? So it's the appearance that you have a choice. It's the appearance that you have different avenues, but it all leads to the same the same Oz, the same Wiz, the Wizard of Oz, right? The Yellow Brick Road. This is what scares me. And I hear this from people so many times that when I ask somebody, they'll, well, where did you hear about Trump saying he told people to drink bleach? Well, I heard it on CNN. Okay. And they'll automatically know where I'm going with that. And then I also heard it off of NBC. And I also, switched over to MSNBC. So I got it from like 4 different news stations. So it wasn't just CNN. So if it wasn't true, right?
They'll get sued.
This is what if
it wasn't true, they'll get sued for just they putting that out there like that. It's easy to get sued like that.
But that's not entirely true neither, because it's a long twisting road. You're talking about defamation of character and all of these things, but it's proven. I could prove it to you. I can absolutely prove it to you where the manipulation lies at when it comes to media and how they'll take a clip. So it's not how the manipulation is this, right? The manipulation is this. So you and I are having a long conversation, right? And in the midst of this conversation, I say somewhere in the conversation about drinking.
And then then they just put little insert clips from not the whole entire conversation, but just certain things that we talked about.
About me just saying about drinking bleach, right? And now they take, because I said this, drink bleach. Those words did leave my mouth. They'll take that clip and then we'll run it on the 6 o'clock news about this idiot American president that's telling the people to drink bleach. They'll play the clip and here he is, drink bleach. And then they're like, well, I can't believe that this guy said that, and he did say drink bleach. That's not up for discussion. But again, it was because his ignorance is in the fact that he's not highly educated in science. He's not a scientist. He's not an influencer. He's not diplomatic.
No. Hold, slow up, bro. Regardless if you is or not, you're the president of the United States. There's certain things you can't do. Certain things you can't say. You are the leader of the free world. So I can't.
True enough. Which is why I likened him to being ignorant in that moment.
Well, that's not the only moments. And we ain't gonna go further with it.
Well, there's many. And the thing of it is, this is my point, right? This is my point. The point is that Trump gave the media so many avenues to edit his things and to make him look like a bumbling idiot or a liar, or to make him appear to be what I don't see him as, right? And this is the manipulation, because I don't watch the news. I get my news from the world, per se. I listen to what other countries are saying. I listen to comments on YouTube, bro, for the most part.
It's still the news. News is news.
And then, of course, the main source of my news, of course, is my wife, because she's more in depth in research and all of that than I am. So she clarifies a lot of things
guess
for
what?
me. But
she got news. This is the bottom line. News. But
it's about cross-referencing, and it's about researching, and it's about forming your own opinion.
And right? That being said, guess what? You know what I listen to a lot? The Rush Limbaugh show, man. And it's another dude, something Mead. Something Mead. And it's another one. I listen to them more than I do if I'm. All right, I'm gonna say this because you're gonna get mad because I might not be listening to the podcast, but I listen to them.
How you know me, man? I was getting ready to.
I listen to them sometime when I'm driving, like all the time when I'm going. Hey, man, because when I'm going to Mariana, because I gotta do stuff over there, bro. I listen to them. I listen to the Fox networks on thing. Rush Limbaugh, I know you know him. Okay,
yeah, now Rush. He's a little too radical for me. Rush is a little too radical, but he's he is definitely a good opposing figure to listen to. Yes,
because he is like pro-Trump and pro-Republicans and all that kind of stuff and conspiracy theories. He's one of the Trump. He got an award from Trump for like something. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, American Citizen Award or free citizen or something.
But anyway, dude, I listen to him and people, because I'm not like so, like you just said, you know, media is influence and stuff like that. And if you keep listening to this long enough, you're gonna believe this. You know what I mean? To certain things that media put out. So.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think, in your opinion, that Trump was telling Americans to drink bleach? Or do you think that he was just genuinely asking the scientists if it was possible that bleach could be injected into the body some kind of way? Okay.
I never gave it any thought until you asked me that question. I never, when you ask me that question right now, it's time for me to think about it. Because I never like held that against him on that. But
and this is a point of mine, because the time to think about that was when the decision was made and it was heard. Like it's called rational thinking. Like I sit back and I say, damn. Now, did he just mean for me to drink bleach, or was he just really asking if that's possible because he don't know? And I'm speaking about the people that ran out and actually drunk bleach, you know, or took these little bleach balls from the fish tanks and all that crap.
Now let's back up to like what I was trying to tell you earlier. You're the leader of the free world. You're not the leader. You're not my boss man or whatever like that, but you lead an entire country. You can't say those type of things and you don't understand your position. You got to understand your position because you get briefings and all kind of things, bro. You know. I mean, so you can't be just that ignorant that, I could say this. How can you say that and you leading people trusting you? You're not the God, the Savior, but you are a form of a leader of the entire country. That's the entire country. So for you to even say that, What in your mind? And don't get it twisted, man. So even if you have some type of sympathy of his ignorance or whatever like that, there, do not get it twisted. When things like that happen, like with the epidemic, you have been briefed before it hits us. It hits them. So you have been briefed. You got the top scientists on your team, the top everything on your team. So you know already. It ain't like that. You trying to figure it out. Somebody done told you because you got scientists. That's why you hire people. That's why you got a cabinet. So I don't understand what you trying to tell me right here, dog.
Well, we also have to keep in mind that this was a global pandemic that nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew anything about this virus, right? We were pretty much trying to track down where it came from.
China.
Trump was letting everybody know, listen, there's no need to track this shit down. It came from China. And at first we were having a problem with that, right? It just seems to me like Americans have, issues with,
I think it came from China my dang self. Right? But go ahead.
Well, it's proven. We know that it came from China. There's nothing to dispute. Now the ugliness of it, the unpresidentialness of it is Trump, calling it Kung Flu. Yes, it's humorous, it's funny as hell. You know what I mean? But it's unpresidential.
I don't care about the unpresidential part. What I care about is your influence. You can't say this stuff and you already know it, bro.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I do, and I'm 100% with you on that. Like when you're an influential character, like Trump knows that, and Diddy knows that, and all these people know that they're influential, and they use that again for propaganda manipulation.
And that's what he was doing. You've been briefed on it.
Right, but everybody does that. So why is Trump? There's not a president that gets in there that's not going to push his own agenda.
Because I keep trying, because he's like a country god, if you would, dude. He's a country god. If you had people like what's the man name that made Jim Jones?
I was just thinking about old Jimmy.
If you had a person like him that did thousands of people and he wasn't a president, okay, you had several people, but even way after that, you've been having people that said they was going we talking about doctors, lawyers, and all that kind of stuff. They drunk some stuff because of some comet or whatever's going to come by, and they all died in the house. You even had the people, what's it in what is Texas, when they let themselves get burned alive, kids and all that kind of stuff, dude.
Well, but see this, this is okay. This is what I don't understand. How is that my fault, right? If I tell you, Lamont, I say, hey, Lamont, go drink some bleach, and you go and drink bleach, how is that my fault?
Okay, let me try to see if I can get this. Because of the fact, take for instance, you vulnerable. We all need, okay, back to biblical. So we want something to help us, save us, because we're individuals and we try to have open minds. And so now in the biblical days, guess what? You'll get somebody to worship the sun. The sun in the sky. You get somebody to worship a statue. you'll get somebody, because we want something to help us to help
to believe
ourselves.
in, right? We need some sort of physical presence to believe in. We just can't believe in a spiritual thing and it motivates
It
us.
kind of helps us out, and that's what we want. And so, even with let's go to reality TV. So, guys in prison, they like to watch reality TV all the time.
Yes, they do, man. They'll fight about that jump. Yes,
the like certain shows, and they start trying to act like them or believe in their mind that they them, acting like that you got the $1 million and nothing, and we finna get the same tray when we go through this child line. But dude, you act in a different way because you're getting influenced by. Okay, that's why the Kardashians and stuff like that, they are still going on a reality TV show, dude, because you want to live in a fantasy than a reality, meaning something like we said, you want something to influence you, but if I told you that straight up, you're not going to say, nah, I don't need nobody to influence me. I don't need nobody to tell me what to do. But things are put in place, like you said a little earlier, to allow you or get you to get influence and stuff. And the media does a great job of that. But we always had the media. That's why I'm not knocking the news. I can't knock the news because, like you said, wifey, whatever research she do or whatever she see or whatever like that, it's still news, regardless of the source that she get it from. It's news unless she's seen it with her own eyes.
Well, we only know what we know, right? Like, but it's just cross-referencing. It's doing what you can. It's just being responsible enough to do what you can to try to understand what it is that you just saw and come up with your own conclusion based upon your experiences in life. That's essentially all that we can do. By
that's why I can't knock the news.
By researching and educating ourselves. But the point that I'm making, right, is we have these are intellects. We have intellects, right? We have educated people that understand that this is what needs to be done. But well, I don't agree with the people that are influencers. Are well, yes, but this is what I'm saying is for an intellect.
Naive. The people that get influencers are naive.
Yes, they're sheep. This is where the whole term sheep come from, because it takes one shepherd to lead many sheep.
Can't agree with you,
right?
But go ahead.
So this is my point, but I'm not going to call myself a sheep. I'm not going to just come out and say, well, yes, I'm a sheep. Nobody's going to admit that they're sleepwalking.
Something, bro.
Right? It has to be on.
You could be a sheep to something. You might be strong over here where I'm weak at. But over there, something might be able to make you be the sheep. But go ahead, man. Keep going now.
Well, no, I don't know if I can agree with that, man, because when you're not unless I decided to, right? Which means hold on. Hold on. The difference is if I choose it, it's because I agree with it and I've allowed myself to be that.
Think about what you're saying.
No. Please. No, the difference is when you're being led, right, and you don't realize you're being led. This is what I'm saying. That's what manipulation is. So if what I'm saying is
everything that you saying, because you in agreement, but you don't even know it. But go ahead, man. Please.
No,
man.
well, I'm just defining the two, right? So let's use Jim Jones, right? If Jim Jones came to me as a person and was preaching to me about this place that he has and his ideology at life and all of that, me being me, right? I would be able to sit back and listen to what he says and be able to cross-reference it with what I know in life and logic and social norm and all of these things. And I would be able to decipher whether I agreed with what he was saying or I didn't. And if I agreed with him, then I would follow him. But that would be in my agreement and understanding and belief of what ascertained towards me, right? What I'm talking about is the individuals that follow Jim Jones because their friend just came and told them, hey, this is a cool guy. Let's go.
I see exactly what you're saying. However, that one individual, they might have had that. That's what happens. So it starts like a trickle down. So I'm able to influence this other guy, and then they might be able to influence this other guy. But I got influence from day one, from someone else. I'm saying, you know what I mean? So
well, you're absolutely correct. And now that is a different point in itself because, again, attributing that to media, right? Once we subscribe, just think about it. Once we give our truth, right? Once we give our belief, we never re-question it. You see what I'm saying? Once I believe in you, I'm not going to question myself every day and doubt you and what you say because I've already subscribed to give you my trust. You would have to do something egregious for me to question that trust again.
Now.
You
see
what I'm saying?
President, because he done did several things and he still got the followers. He worse than Jim Jones.
Well, but see here again, right? What you determine to be worse or bad, I may not see.
That's what I'm trying to say, and that's how come I listen to the other media. When I say other media, the ones that you named earlier, no, I listen to the Fox media, the media that endorses Trump.
Well, Fox is some sellouts.
I listen to them too, so that I don't just be sold on CNN. You know what I mean?
See, for me, CNN's not news, right? CNN is not a news media for me. CNN is a reality TV show for me. And all of the people that are on there are actors, right? Fox is the same way. All these cable news TV shows, right? They're just actors. For me, news is like your local news where these reporters are actually out there and they're not putting on shows, but today it's kind of getting that way as well because we have to understand in order for these operations to exist, they have to generate money. What generates money is ratings. What generates ratings is excitement and all of this crap. So when a hurricane comes through, this is how you have Chris Cuomo down here in Hurricane Irma looking like he's facing a 200-mile-an-hour wind, and you got 2 8-year-olds behind him just kicking over.
I know exactly what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
So it's creating chaos and it's creating fear when there's no need for it to be there. Right. To entice for ratings and all of this crap.
You're right.
So when this occurs, it automatically turns me off. So now that if they are trying to tell me the truth, I don't even believe them because I know manipulation exists.
You're right, now, because that does happen. You're gonna get in the worst part of everything, but then you making it seem more than what it is. I agree.
Well, they've done that with the black race. The media has done that with the black race. They've done that with just any sort of manipulative tool that they want to use to expose or create division or however it is that they want to do. Whatever their agenda is on that particular day.
That's what the media, that's why he called it fake news. Because it's not necessarily fake news because it'd be some truth to it. It's some truth in a lie now. And it's some lie in the truth. Huh?
Of course. But this is what I mean when I hear people say, well, Trump is a white supremacist. Okay. Right, name me. Okay. Mm-hmm. If Trump is a white supremacist, right? Now, what I try to do is I try to equate him to other white supremacists. right?
I
So
don't think he a white
Hitler,
supremacist, but go ahead. And I'm gonna tell you why.
but okay, but so I try to equate this white supremacy to other known white supremacists, and for me, it just doesn't equate. Why? Well, first and foremost, the man just equipped the HBCUs for the next 10 years, which no other president has done. Not even the African American
But
president
guess
that was
what?
in there before
That's
him.
so he could get some
You
votes
see,
later.
and that's
That's
not
what
something that white
that's so he could
supremacy
get some votes
does.
later, so he could get
Huh?
back in office. But go ahead. That's my opinion.
But and that may be so. I'm not negating that, but that's not
All
something
right.
that a white
I said I don't
supremacist
think he's a
does.
white supremacist. I'm gonna tell you why.
Well, and well, yeah, we've discussed this, and I know
I
that,
do think
but
he's
I'm just using that
racist.
as a
Now,
reference
okay,
because,
I
again,
think he's racist. Now, when
well,
I
he's
think
just as
he's a little
racist as
bit
any other
more, and
white
I'm gonna tell
person.
you why. I'm gonna explain it. Okay, he's
Okay.
racist because of the color. And just let me talk for a second. Do I think that
No, you
he
got it.
like strongly dislike white people? I think he's still like the old school because he's 70 or whatever. That black people is they just made for this and that, huh?
Subordinate, yeah.
And that's why
Yeah,
he just
I
he
agree.
he don't when he was talking about your poor countries and this, that, and the third and whatever like that there, because even though you not from my country, you still a black person. So when I look at life and when I look at the United States, I don't look at it just my country. I look at it as we are all people. Now, like I said, I don't think he's a supremacist, but I do think he's a racist. And I think he will be racist like toward you, if you would. You, Tom. You understand what I'm saying? I think so you
I
do
do.
want to.
And this is but this is my point, because that he's no more racist than every other 70-some,
He don't
60-some
like
year
you
old
neither,
white
bro.
guy that grew up in
He don't like
America.
you.
Huh?
No, I'm just
Well, I know
saying.
he don't like me.
I mean,
Well, I
yeah,
know that. I
he
know
don't.
that.
It's not like he just, oh, I hate blacks. No, I'm not saying that, man. If you ain't in part of certain type of status or whatever like that, there, then he really don't give a dang about you.
Just like any other corporate board in America
And you,
or the
and guess
world,
what?
any
You are
other
right. But
whitewashed board.
this is where I can't let you justify that as. You're not the leader of the free world. You keep missing that point, bro. Because you're not leading the free world. Yeah, this guy, he the CEO of this. All right, cool. You don't gotta like me. You don't gotta do this. You don't gotta say this right here and gotta be politically correct. Your influence don't matter. You don't got the control of these bombs and everything like that to fight for this country, dude. You just making whatever product that you got. That's what you doing. And if I buy it, then I buy it. But you're not in control of how much I gotta pay in taxes or whatever like that. I got a choice when it comes to you as opposed to my president. You don't got a choice when it comes to him. You don't got a choice on how things gonna run as an everyday norm, bro. When it comes to that CEO that you said, that say Tommy Hilfiger, that's an example. Something years ago, I didn't see it because I was locked up about being a racist or whatever like that. There,
Yeah.
but you
If I think his quote was somewhat like, if I
that's what it
known
was, bro.
that my line was going to be exploited in the black community the way it was, I
That's
would have
what
never
I
designed
heard.
it as such.
But guess what?
Yeah.
And then guess what happened?
It was an ugly statement.
He started, if that was true, exactly, he started
Marketing
with
it.
the black community
He
because
started
that's who's
marketing it.
buying it.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? But again, blacks, they could have boycotted that or whatever like that, or not even bought it. But when it comes to something that's controlling your kids and their future and the laws, okay, oh my goodness. Ding, ding, ding. That's the light bulb. The laws and the things that will affect your life and your kids' life, the decisions and stuff like that, then you must be held accountable. You can't say, go ahead.
So look, okay, let's do this here. So now I just looked up real quick. Now there's an article here 2 years ago, digging deeper, the racism scandal that rocked Tommy Hilfiger. Now here, let me see how long this is. It's a pretty long article, so I won't read the whole article. But what it's saying is that it was a completely fabricated story. He never made the quote, and that again, the quote was supposedly made on Oprah Winfrey's show, and Oprah Winfrey had asked him to leave after he made the comment. None of that ever happened.
I never
He's
even
never
heard
even
that
been
he
on
was on
Oprah
Oprah
Winfrey.
Winfrey. Oh, now with that source that you got that from, just like you say in the media, are you sure that's right? That it came from a good source?
Well, again, that's a very good question, and that's a question that a lot of people
They just go for what they
don't really
read and
ask.
just keep it going.
And just keep it going. So this here is highs snobbity, highsnobbity.com.
So I mean, like you're saying, what type of credentials that you got that you saying he said, well, people said that he was on Oprah Winfrey and that never happened, and he probably wasn't on Oprah Winfrey and that didn't happen. You dig what I'm saying? But that's something that I could have made up and put it on the site, so whenever you Google it, Tom, that comes up, and now you like, oh, so he ain't racist. But again, don't forget now, a little earlier, just a few seconds ago, I was like, I heard this, but I don't know it. You understand what I mean? I don't know that he said that. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, I was locked up and I couldn't do my own homework, bro. Could do my homework on it. So I don't know. I do not know that. I didn't say he was a racist, but I just used his thing as I heard it too.
No, but I've heard this, and again, right? I'm guilty of parroting this news as well, that he's a racist and that he said this, and as you said that, I even referenced it like I knew. But here's an article now stating that, and he's quoting the producers of the show, stating that he's never been on the show and that this never occurred. So seeing that he's quoting the people off the show and giving their names, I would probably say that's probably legit.
But again, now I go back, try to get to the source, because I don't know where the source came from. I don't know who said that. And I don't know if they said he came from the Oprah Winfrey show. Because somebody could have been interviewing him and he could have made that statement. But I could lie and say, they said I was on the Oprah Winfrey show, woo, 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 and all the stuff that you just read. You dig? And then I'm gonna make it, now it's gonna look like truth. But whenever a person first heard it, they said they heard it from somewhere else. You dig what I'm saying? Not from the Oprah Winfrey show. Because if you didn't do your homework from the beginning, you would think, oh, Oprah Winfrey them said this. And now when you read what you just read, oh, this is false. Does that make sense? Back to the media. Man, I gotta get off this phone. It's New Year 2021. You kicked it in the ass. You kicked 2020 in the ass before you even started talking.
Kick 2020 in the ass, man. Get the hell out of here with that COVID crap, man. It was a
Bro,
tough
I
year,
got a
dog. That was a
question.
tough year
Oh,
on me, man.
I just lost a cousin 3 weeks ago to COVID. 3 weeks
Damn
ago,
it,
dog.
dog.
So that's 2 people in my family died of COVID. So you could say underlying what is underlying conditions or whatever. But guess what? Don't at some point every one of us, if you dig deep, we might have an underlying condition that we might not even be aware of.
Well, there's no question. Let me ask you this here, because I asked you what the bad was. What was the
I
best
lived
thing
through
that
it.
happened to you in 2020?
So the short answer,
Uh,
that's the short answer. And that's the best answer. I lived.
what's your goal? What's your
Hey,
goals for
man, funny that
2021?
you asked. And I know we on the podcast or whatever like that, but here's the thing with me. And I think I mentioned a little bit. Everybody say, well, not everybody, but each year they be like, oh man, this is gonna be my year whenever the new year kicks in or whatever and whatever. But when I got released, so now it's about to be, let me see, this 2021. So I went to the halfway house in 2014. Okay. I wasn't supposed 22 years.
How long did you do?
Yes. Now,
22 straight.
so when I went to the halfway house, I ain't get out the halfway house till what 2015, July the 9th. July the 9th. Yeah. July the 9th. So, yeah, about July the 9th. But anyway, so when I first said, went to the halfway house and stuff like that, guess what I said? I said, man, my life ain't really gonna turn around the way that I want to until 2021. And I said January the 4th, because if it wasn't for Obama, I wouldn't have been out until then. Now, that's why I'm saying 2021 is the start of my entire future, which is this year that I'm in right now. But I've been saying that for the past, what it would be now, 7 years or 6. I've been saying that since then. I ain't been saying that, okay, you know how people, oh yeah, man, this is going to be my year right here. No, I've been saying that years before this year, 2021. January 4th, going to be mine's from here on out. I've been saying that for those years, bro.
Okay.
Those amount of years I've been saying that, man. I'm struggling. I'm doing this and that right now, but 2021 is my year. I've been claiming that year for years. You understand what I mean now? Did I explain it?
I do. No, you explained it perfectly, because I was going to ask you, what was significant about
That's
that
what it
date. But
is,
no, you
bro.
explained it.
That's
You
what it
explained it,
is,
partner.
man. For real. And I slept through it last night. I had to go to work, but I didn't try to sleep through it. I wanted to see the countdown. You know, I wanted it. Man, I just wanted
I
to
didn't even
do it.
watch the
But
countdown, man.
man, if I had some money and whatever like that, I'm going to New York for a countdown. If COVID ain't around or whatever like that, man, it's just something significant that I did as not even a teenager, like before being a teenager. I just used to do that, man. Watch the ball drop.
Yeah.
But I was told.
Well. Last night was the first time that I've never watched. Well, I don't even know if that's a true statement because, well, I guess
Yeah.
we used to listen to it inside because we weren't staying up for the ball drop and all that crap, and they would shut the TVs off, but we could listen to it on the radio. So, so let me say this accurately, right? Last night was the first night that I've never been involved in the ball drop in some sort of fashion, We were just sitting on the porch, my wife and I, we were just sitting on our back porch. And of course they had the little fireworks going off here and there, but we knew it was 12 o'clock just because everybody just started setting off their fireworks at once, It was.
Did you think about being free and think about what you had beside you and just the importance of your existence as a free man? What you thought about?
No.
Like
distractions.
Money, man, bills. But you're right. That's another subject. No, that's the truth.
You know what I mean? Reality. For real. No, but this is what's important. You know what I'm saying? Because what you said is huh? And what you said is really where my mind should have been at.
Caught up in that. That's part of the subject. Well, part of the thing we discussed earlier when I said once I get rich, man, I'm gonna have a think tank. You know what I mean?
Well, see, the thing of it is like I was explaining to her last night, like I've let distractions pull me so far off course. I'm smoking cigarettes. I'm not working out. I'm not eating healthy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's never been me. That's never been me. So just like I told her last night, and it was kind of, again, God works in mysterious ways, partner, because as I said, last night was the first time that I've never been involved in the ball drop. And yet here I'm marking 2021 as revolutionizing myself and getting back into my militant
man, I
state.
brag on you. Even though I might not holler at you all the time, I brag on you, man. I do. I brag on you. And because me and you came up with different inventions and all kind of stuff together. You dig what I'm saying? Man, I'm going to tell you one of our inventions that we had. And I don't know if not necessarily an invention, but we had I didn't know what you would call it then, but it's called an app. But back then, I didn't know about apps. Uh-huh. I just said, man, all right, let me see if you can remember now.
Yeah.
And then I'm finna get you off my phone. Because remember I told you I got off work. I had to work today.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Nobody cares about that crap, man.
Do you recall me and you for weeks, we'll be like, hey, man, you know what? Since they got the thing internet, and I ain't know nothing about the internet then. So it was like, let's create a site where you could get ranked on. Let me see. They could judge you, and they could rank you and stuff like that. It's a dating site. What it is, what Tag is almost like that, where they bid on you, so to speak, on your Tag TAGGED. But you don't remember me and you talked about that, man? We talked about this for weeks, but I can't give you.
Yeah, we talked about and
weeks.
It was you and I that were talking about it, and then everybody else got into the little group, but we were talking about essentially about an app that kind of rated you upon everything that you've done. So like somebody would know
Man, every
if
day
you were a
me
good
and you
person or
had this
not, I
discussion
guess.
for a long time in that computer room.
So for my listeners, right? Because I kind of left my listeners out on this a little bit, but for my listeners, who this gentleman is this is a gentleman where we came together in school, as you know already. I like to call it college, right? And we were working in Unicor.
I was
Now,
anti-Unicor
the
at
Unicor
that
that we were
time.
working in
I was
was a facility.
anti-Unicor, but until
Huh?
they said I had
Huh?
to join Unicor, I got to put that to your listeners. I had to join Unicor in order for them to pay for me to get A+ certified computer technician. But go ahead. I had to throw that in there.
Right. Yes, because
I
it
had to
did
work
have
in
the
there because
program
of
in there
that. But
about
go
the
ahead.
A+ certification, right? So this Unicor was a materials breakdown Unicor, which means that materials would come from electronic materials would come from all over the place, and we would break them down and I believe sell them for parts. So both, which I refer to Lamont as LA, both LA and I had computer hardware experience, and we were going for the A+ certification class that deals with the hardware. So we knew that we were getting computers in left and right. We were breaking them down, selling the little gold off the motherboards or whatnot. So we went and we pitched to the Unicor facility manager about setting up a program of building these computers. You know, instead of tearing them down, that you and I, LA and I, could put together a program and start building these
The
computers
word
and
is
bringing them to a
refurbished. But
C
go ahead.
prompt and getting them to work. And in order to refurbish, right? And this is what essentially you and I built. You know, we built this little corner of Unicor and established a computer refurbishing program there in Unicor, which, from what I heard, because I left and you took over,
Empire.
but from what I heard, ended up turning into
I'm serious, dude.
an
I ain't
empire.
gonna tell you the extent that I had got it, but go ahead. We'll talk about that just personally.
Yeah, because
Dude,
I'm curious to know how this shit turned into an
listen.
empire, dog.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
didn't
say
even know
this
that we
real quick.
created an
So it
empire
was
like that.
another side to it. You know, the other side. I don't know if they was using it when you was there, but dude, I I pitched to them. Hey, since y'all ain't utilizing this whole entire other side, let me get it, and then it's gonna be mass production. I'm gonna train everybody, and then it's gonna be mass production, dude.
You talking about the side back by the paint booth?
No, not the paint booth, but
What side you talking about?
not the paint booth side, but it's like another side, not by the paint booth. It had its own like entrance and stuff like that. I'm talking about it was big. It was big
Okay.
as the paint booth side, just as big as that. It was just a warehouse. I don't know. Oh, you know what? They used to store stuff inside there. But
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
they
Yes.
stopped storing the stuff
Where they,
inside there,
yes.
bro. They
Yes.
cleared it all out. Bro, I had big desks. Oh man, it was unbelievable, dude. You
Well,
man,
that's where
no,
we were at. You talking about where we were at, where we built back there with
that's where
the
we
chain
had
fence
you and
and all
I.
that, where they would lock us in back there.
But I'm talking about the other side. You wasn't there when
Yeah.
I did the other side, dude. I'm talking about
I knew nothing
that
about that.
little spot that me and you had. Nah, man, that was nothing, dude. I mean, it was something because we still had mad production. It was maybe about 7 or 8 of us, but dude, nah, it went to about 20 and 30. And then they had to have people, man, so it might have been about 40 people, the whole involvement with what's going on in there. 40 probably created jobs inside the prison, bro. That's what we did from what we, that's for real.
That's what
But
we
and it
did.
created like things for people in the free world that they could buy cheaper products that was refurbished by guys like you and I, that I never knew anything about a computer, not like that, because I was, man, don't forget now.
Well, that's what we did. Everybody we brought in there, we were teaching dudes really a trade, not only just breaking shit, but how to
That's
actually build and work on computers.
we built.
This is what we were doing, man. And you and I just did that. We just did it one day. We trying to do it again. I'm trying to do it again, man.
I ain't trying to cut. Oh, I gotta go.
Listen, go.
Man, I told you I done got all work.
Wash your ass,
and
man.
Then it's raining out there. I gotta.
Yeah,
no,
you did,
but
man.
I love it.
I kidnapped you and I brought you on the air, man. And
I'm so happy
and
to
we
talk
put together
to you.
a really good show.
I'm so happy to talk to your audience. You know what I mean? The listeners.
I got an audience all over the world, man. I got Jamaica, I got the Czech Republic, Ireland, the UK, Canada, countries in Africa. Man, I got loyal supporters all over the world, man, listening to my sorry ass.
Hopefully he get down, and I know he got influencers, because remember I told you he used to be bragging on me as, man, this guy here, and he'll tell me this. You know what I mean? I'm like, for real? He was like, man, you remember you was talking to me and you said this? You remember you was talking to me and you said that? And I just be talking, you know what I mean? But him as a regular white man or whatever, I got to say white man, and I don't mean that in any offense. His mind don't.
Yeah, I mean, I know you don't, man. Whatever.
Listen.
Fucking white man. Go ahead,
if
man.
You said black man, I wouldn't even take that personal either. But his mind just was on straight, like militant. He worked in the I did tell you he worked in the Department of Corrections, feds, before. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And we want to stop that. We want to stop correctional officers coming out being POs and stuff. Was he a good
That's
PO?
The greatest person around me that I had, that what people incarcerated would say, quote unquote, sweet. He wasn't sweet to the point that, okay, he's just going to let you do what you want to do. No. This guy, no, he looks at your mind. So every time he talks to you, he's analyzing you. He trying to see who you are, and that's what is wrong with people that get incarcerated and they have authority over them. Even a person, even authority that's out here, like police, they don't look at the person's mind, and that's where sometimes we be at. Well, they, the people in authority be at fault at, because you gotta look at a person's mind first before you overreact or before you act. You know what I mean? You don't know who you dealing with. And he was so open-minded that he'll listen to me, and then he'll come back to me next week or whatever when I see him, or he'll call me. Hey, you know what? Remember you was talking to me the other day, and I thought about this. And so we'll have conversations like you and I. And I'll have to tell him, hey, listen now, I got to go. I don't talk to you enough. And he'll just laugh. He'll be like, well, when you going to call me back? So he was my PO, but he was a person that was open-minded enough to have an understanding of a guy like me that has been incarcerated, even though he's been doing this stuff for 20-something years. His interest in me, man, it made me thank God, thank Jesus, of like, I got that much of something to say that a guy like him would be interested in the things that I have to say. So we'll just talk outside of the PO thing. But, he's still my PO, but not outside like anything illegal, but like Hey, what you doing? What's going on? Hey, you know what? Let me run this by you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He'll just say something like that, man. And that's like,
Yeah.
it make me feel good, you know? Get off my phone, bro.
Well, it's good, man. It sounds like you and your PO, became good bosom
Yes,
buddies,
though.
man.
You can say it how you want to, but I don't care. Whatever, bro. But man, I do like him though.
Hey,
I ain't
man,
finna
stay
lie to
safe.
you,
Take
man.
care of
I really,
yourself, man.
really,
Go
really
brush your
like
teeth.
him, man. You can call it whatever.
Well, there's and
I really,
that's a
really
good
like
thing to
him,
say too, because I do want to
man.
know,
I really
right?
like
There
him.
are good POs out there. There are good parole
Great
officers
person.
out there. There are good
Great.
correctional officers out there. There are good cops out
Yeah.
there.
Great
We
person.
do know that.
I'm talking about like
You know,
great. I can't, man. He's a man. You know what I mean? And that's what I look at. When I got out, bro, he didn't look at me.
you look at
Man,
him.
he didn't look at me
You
like
look at
I
him like a
was an
man.
inmate and I'm on his little, what you call it, his list thing. He didn't. He gave me
Yeah,
a
his list,
chance.
his
He gave me
profile.
a
Yeah,
chance to just show him who I am. Because guess what he did? He listened. He'll ask questions, but he gonna listen to the answers. He analyzed, but I do that even if I go to the store to a person. I'm gonna analyze. You know what I mean? That's what you do.
we have to. That's why I love you, man. Because yeah, you form your own
Man,
decisions and your own
it's the
opinions.
guy. Go ahead.
Listen, man,
To
go
my
take care
clean
of
myself
yourself,
up,
man.
I'll be all right. I am.
Go clean yourself up. Right now, I'm picturing you just
I
standing
ain't
there
gonna
holding the
mess around
phone
with
with
how
straw
nigga.
hanging in your hair and
Oh
all
my
that
goodness,
crap,
I
man.
apologize for calling you that. No, you my dude, man. But that's just a figurative. Man, that's just me
Where
just
the hell did
talking.
that
That's
come from,
figuratively
man?
speaking. I don't. It's not. No, dude. I really don't
I
use
know.
that
I'm
like
just
that.
jeffing with you, dog.
I apologize, man. What?
Well,
But
it damn sure
you so
came out
much of
there,
my
didn't it, man?
dude that whenever people use that term, they don't they don't use it as
Term
yeah,
of
like
endearment.
derogatory or whatever. And so I just said that, man. But I don't usually, man. I ain't finna get into that, but bro, I
You
know,
went all
I
hood on me,
know.
partner.
No, for real, man. You cut
Hey, as always, man,
one
it's been a
love,
pleasure.
bro.
I love talking to you, man. One love, for
Do
real.
that.
Take
All
care
right,
of
one.
yourself, all right? And I'll connect with you in a little bit.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. A real gangster ass nigga plays his cards right. A real gangster ass nigga never runs his fucking mouth, cause real gangster ass niggas don't start fights. And niggas always got a high cap, showing all his boys how he shot him. But real gangsta ass niggas don't flex nuts, cause real gangsta ass niggas know they got him. And everything's cool in the mind of a gangster, cause gangsta ass niggas think deep. Up 365, ayo, 24/7, cause real gangsta ass niggas don't sleep. And all I gotta say to you, wanna be, gonna be, cocksucking pussy eating pranksters, is when the fire dies down, what the fuck you gonna do? Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster, feeding the poor and helping out with their bills. Although I was born in Jamaica, now I'm in the U.S. making deals. Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. I mean one that you don't really know. Riding around town in a drop-top Benz, hitting switches in my black 6'4". Now gangster ass niggas come in all shapes and colors. Some got killed in the past, but this gangster here was a smart one. Started living for the Lord and I last. Now all I gotta say to you, wanna be, gonna be, pussy and cocksucking pranksters. When the shit jumps off, what the fuck you gonna do? Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Feels good to be a gangster. A real gangster ass nigga knows the play. The real gangster ass niggas get the flies of the bitches. Ask that gangster ass nigga little shit. The bitches look at gangster ass niggas like a stop sign and play the role of Little Miss Sweet. But catch the bitch all alone, get the digits, take her out and end up hitting her ass with the meat. Cause gangster ass niggas be the game players and everything's quiet in the clique. A gangsta ass nigga pulls the trigger and his partners in the posse ain't telling off shit. Real gangsta ass niggas don't talk much. All you hear is the black from the gun blast. And real gangsta ass niggas don't run for shit. Cause real gangsta ass niggas can't run fast. Now when you in the free world talking shit, you the shit. Hit the pen and let a motherfucker shank you. But niggas like myself kick back and keep game. Cause damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
And now, a word from the president.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. Getting voted into the White House. Everything looking good to the people of the world, but the Murphy family is my boss. So every now and then I hold a favor here and there, like letting a big drug shipment through and send them to the poor community so we can bust you know who. So voters of the world, keep supporting me, and I promise to take you very far. Other leaders better not upset me, or I'll send 1 million troops to die at war. To all you Republicans that helped me to win, I sincerely like to thank you, cause now I got the world swinging from my nuts, and damn, it feels good to be a gangster.